Welcome to Illuvision.
Apollo, the unluckiest god in love. Apollo had numerous affairs, but goodness was he unlucky in love. One particularly well-known tale recounts his infatuation with Daphne. Apollo had a severe case of the hots for Daphne, but even his uber-good looks and divine attributes failed to seduce her. He relentlessly pursued her. He continued his advances until she, absolutely exhausted, sought divine intervention. Rather than succumb to Apollo's advances, Daphne appealed to the goddess Gaia, the personification and goddess of the earth. In response to Daphne's plea, Gaia transformed Daphne into a tree, which Daphne found preferable to submitting to Apollo's advances. Talk about commitment issues, but brave of her for not giving in to a god, especially when you hear what he is capable of. In another tale of rejection, Cassandra, princess of Troy, not only rebuffs Apollo, but also deceives him. Apollo offers her the gift of prophecy, the ability to foresee the future in exchange for lying with him. But despite accepting the offer, she refuses to sleep with him. In his anger, Apollo leaves her with the gift of prophecy, but curses her, specifically the curse of not being believed by anyone, ever. So though she possesses knowledge of important future events, no one takes her seriously. This is the reason why, despite her foretelling the defeat of Troy, no one heeds her warning. If the Trojans had listened, Troy might not have suffered such an epic defeat. We've dealt with Apollo's bisexuality in another episode, but it is also in his affairs with men that we find more misfortune in love. Cyparissus, an exceptionally handsome youth, was one of Apollo's male lovers, and their love for each other ran deep. As a token of affection, Apollo gifted Cyparissus a tame deer as a companion, perhaps to provide Cyparissus with company whilst Apollo was off shagging his numerous other partners. However, tragedy struck due to another stroke of misfortune. One day, whilst the deer was resting in the shade of a tree, Cyparissus accidentally shoots the deer with his arrow and kills it. Cyparissus is devastated and so overwhelmed with grief that he wanted nothing but to die himself. Apollo attempted to console him, but Cyparissus cried incessantly and remained inconsolable. Consumed by this desire for death, Apollo loses another love as Cyparissus underwent a transformation into a tree that was named after him, the cypress tree, which then became a symbol of mourning. In another tragic tale, there is Apollo's male lover, Hyacinthus. Both were deeply in love, they spent much time together, and it was during a friendly game of discus throwing. Apollo, being a god, threw the discus so far into the air that it pierced the clouds. As it returned, Hyacinthus, eager for his turn and to impress, ran towards the discus, only for it to smack him full in the face, killing him. Overcome with grief, Apollo acknowledged his unintentional role in Hyacinthus' death and said that Hyacinthus would be with him forever, reborn as a new flower. And miraculously, where Hyacinthus has fallen, a flower bloomed, named after him, the hyacinth flower. Yet another love lost, and more plant life created. Returning to his relationships with women, we encounter perhaps the most brutal episode in Apollo's love life. After a series of misfortunes of the heart, Apollo had finally discovered love with Coronis, a princess from Thessaly. Everything seemed to be going well. They were deeply in love, and Coronis was pregnant. Their child was destined to become the god of healing, Asclepius. Apollo might have even thought of settling down, though I doubt it. Unfortunately, this perfect love took a turn for the worst when Apollo was informed that Coronis was having an affair. Apollo was livid. Not only had she betrayed him and during pregnancy, but the affair was with a mortal, a man named Iscus. Interestingly, he received the bad news from a crow. Apparently, in those times, crows were white. Apollo, angry at the messenger crow, didn't shoot the messenger, but he turned the crow's feathers from white to black, a change that still exists in the black crows we see today. But it gets even worse. In a fit of dark rage, Apollo instructs his sister, Artemis, to kill Coronis, which she does, and then, disturbingly, Apollo extracts the unborn child from Coronis' womb. Yeah, dark. Very dark. So look, after hearing these myths, the next time you're feeling unlucky in love, just remember, even gods have had their fair share of celestial heartaches. It's a testament to the universality of the experience of love, teaching us that the complexities of the heart and fate are an intrinsic part of existence, shared by both gods and mortals, and the journey that makes us even stronger.